In 2026, the Richland Public Library celebrates its 75th anniversary. The library has always held a special place in the hearts of Richland residents, having some of the highest usage statistics in the country for a library of its size. Over the years, we've checked out millions of items, held thousands of community engagement events, and have been a public square for millions of neighbors to connect.
The Richland Public Library is just home to me. It's home, it's family.
I'm proud to work in a place where everybody is welcome.
This is such a space of equal footing for every person.
I mean, there's a lot of people who come in and they're like, I have never been in a library that has this many things to do. People say that to me all the time.
I think it's a great snapshot of what your community is, the library itself.
I can't even imagine living in a town without a library. It's just a part of American society.
You don't have a community unless you have a good library.
So I feel like the library is a place where you can expand your mind, find your place in the world, find your place in a community. Every time that happens, we make a better society.
It's a beacon. It's a center of the community. It is hope for the future. It's a community center. So important for everybody.
Prior to the Richland Public Library, subscription libraries were run by Hanford Engineer Works Employees Association starting in 1944. It didn't take long until a larger, more public space was needed to support our residents. The Richland Motors Garage on the corner of Newton Street and George Washington Way was converted into a municipal library building and opened to the public April 29, 1951 as the Richland Public Library. Over 1,300 residents acquired a library card on that first day of operation. The library was so popular that in the first months of operation, the library had to close for 2 weeks to order more books because almost all the collection was checked out. Marion Reynolds oversaw the construction and opening of the library, with Doris Roberts taking over as library manager shortly after the grand opening. Doris remained in that role until 1984. Doris was a force that cemented the Richland Public Library as a beloved force of our community.
They were golden age librarians. They were quintessential. They were public service, literacy, community engagement. They were the whole package. And they were also quite strict and stern. If you weren't afraid of them, you were making a mistake. But Doris was a goddess to me. I mean, she was the head of the library. What else could you want to be in the whole world?
She was stern, as Ann had said, but she was also, she didn't have any children of her own. She raised her niece, and we became her family.
She was a warm, inviting person. And I brought my niece in, and I said, she's very quiet. And because I didn't want to think she might disrupt the library. But she just picked her up out of the wagon and says, why don't I hold her and you can look around without worrying. She was so gracious.
Early in operation, the library took the role of a classical library, a quiet place for study and research. But the library, ahead of its time, engaged in community programming, including the Summer Reading Club, story times, and more.
Joyce Bliss was the children's librarian, and she used to come to the schools to promote summer reading. And I remember her coming and reading an excerpt from Where the Red Fern Grows, which, you got totally hooked. And the author was also there. So we got to meet Wilson Rawls, which was a high point of my life. So that was it. Then I had to come sign up for summer reading because I had to finish, that book.
You walked in and the children's space was over here and the circ desk was back here. And then out there in the distance was the adult collection. and we were not allowed to go into the adult collection as long as we carried our blue library card. You had cardboard cards, one was orange and one was blue, one was for adults, one was for children's, and you were limited to, children's were limited to 8 books at a time, and you were not allowed to check out any of the adult books. I am this one. This is my picture, and I used this when I actually hired on at the library to explain why they should hire me, because they had a picture of me in the library, so I was meant to be here.
The library grew in popularity, and Doris Roberts led a push for a new library building that was funded by a community vote and opened in 1970. This building is where we operate today.
She was the force that got the building in the 60s. She was the force that got it architect designed. But she thought of the library as also a place of beauty, and people recognized that.
As the years went by, Richland continued to expand, and so did the library's community connections.
My first memories of the Richland Public Library are story times in the circle that was sort of designed like a sunken living room. And it was just right in the center of the library, and I loved that.
I remember the circle and the layout of that, the steps and how it went around, and the books all being around the perimeter. It was a great way to keep track of your kids.
My name is Kelly Reed. I'm the children's librarian, and I have been here for almost 25 years. I enjoy doing story time so much, and so when people compliment me, like they say, "Oh, you have such a good story time," and I say, "Oh, I really enjoy doing it," and they say, "It shows."
I tell them it's story time night, and they're like, "Yes, let's go." And so oftentimes we'll eat dinner a little bit faster than normal just so we can get here in time for story time.
We just love Miss Kelly. She's the reason really we come, because she's just the best librarian there is. She's so engaging and just has a good way of connecting with everybody.
I don't really go because it's for younger kids, but I've gone a few times, like in the summer with my siblings, and it's actually kind of cool.
Last week there was a misscheduled thing, and Joyce was coming in to do story time, but it was supposed to be my story time, and I was so sad. I mean, I thought, I'm gonna cry, because I had all my story time stuff ready, and then Michael said, "Oh, when Joyce comes in," and I'm like, "Oh, Joyce isn't coming in," and he's like, "Yes, she is," and I'm like,
One of my very first memories of helping with a program was a story time where the kids were so engrossed with the story that Joyce was reading that one of the kids wet his pants, and it just spread on the carpet, and the kids just kind of moved aside, but they were so intent that that was such intense programming that right there I knew I wanted to do programming.
I think the first program I ever worked with her was a pet show where we didn't limit the entries.
We had one kid who brought a spider that he plucked off the wall one day on his way here. We had a horse one year. We had a cow one year.
And we made it a show so that everyone got a prize. So I vividly remember being in the back and trying to come up with a prize for a spider and a prize for 20 dogs.
I'm remembering it because my dog played a part in it and won a prize for being the loudest dog.
I love seeing the therapy dogs and petting them and knowing their names, and also getting the therapy dog cards.
One time, Jack, another golden, was there, and there was a little girl, and I saw Jack put his paw on her, and I said, "Oh, that's so sweet. It's like he's thanking her." And one little girl read for so long because every time she'd get to the end, Jack would put his paw up like that, and she would be like, "He wants me to read another one and read another story." So very sweet.
One of the events we do the most fun with here, and it's been the Arts, Craft, and Culture Day, and that's put on during Native American Month. And we do some storytelling, and some of the tables will do some crafts for children to work. And we've been seeing up to like 300 plus a day at that event more recent years, and it is a grand event.
Look at all the friends you have here at the library. Corky was so fun. We really loved having Corky, and the kids got so excited. And Corky would actually read a story. The kids loved it. They would come up and high five Corky, and it was kind of like with Theo. It was like, Corky, high five on your right.
We did pizza solar ovens. So we took pizza boxes and wrapped them in foil, and there was a whole, we cut out this window, and here's the science behind it, and here's how you can use this solar oven to make cookies. And it was an absolute blowout. We had to pull tables from the gallery. Kids were coming in the entire time. Their parents were just saying how excited they were. That one definitely stands out.
We had some sleepovers at the library. Those were fun. We'd have pizza, we'd watch movies. We had things like craft projects, and we had games set up if somebody wanted to just go play a game on their own. We had Twister in the Story Circle.
Eventually, a charge was led by Wayne Suggs, former library manager, to renovate the library into what it is today.
You've got a good community library, but one thing we are missing, and that is the space. Every time we add something new, whether it be computers, more books, more bookshelves, or whatever, we diminish the space that we're in, and we need more room. We need a new building. And she said, do you think that the citizens would support that financially? And I said, absolutely.
The bond passed by an overwhelming majority, and the new library opened in 2009.
I think the biggest thing today is a big thank you, first of all, to the citizens who voted the largest bond that Richland has ever passed in its history, and voted it the first time. We are incredibly lucky here, and I thank all of you for that. We also have just possibly the best library board, city council, city administration, and library staff in the whole world.
So we did a parade from, I'm remembering now, we did a parade from the temp site, which is 2-3 blocks maybe, with kids and wagons and library carts to the front door of the new building.
My grandkids were part of the parade. I have pictures of them with the big books. They were all carrying big books, the little kids were. It was amazing just to see how many people showed up and were so excited and just happy to be back home.
I felt like the whole town was here. It was just so cool to have that many people here.
Since then, the Richland Public Library continues to be the best value in Richland, providing a deep collection, busy event calendar, free public meeting and study spaces, technology, and a friendly neighborhood smile to all that enter.
This building is so well used, and the Richland Public Library is so busy. When we look at our counts every day, and it's 600-800 people coming through this space, it takes really walking in here to see that the whole community's here and using it.
The value that the library provides is immense. I think fiscally, the library has so many more services than what you could access with any amount of money.
Some of the things that the library offers to the community are really hard to quantify as far as cash value received by the community.
I think it's the ways that we can access information, whether it be digital, audio, the videos, the games, the Tumbleweed Tourist, all of that. I think that that's a huge value.
And yes, it's a library, but we do everything else. We have all of the public meetings here that people attend. We have trainings. We have just fun things like story time. You can walk in and find 10 dogs. You can find people playing ukuleles.
I don't think there's a limit to where we can go. I think that we've done so much over the years. When I started here, we were strictly books and magazines and reel-to-reels, and microfilm and microfiche, and then we added in DVDs, and then audiobooks, and then audio CDs, and then digital, and we've added games and museum passes, and so many things that I wouldn't have thought that we would ever do. I wouldn't have even believed that it was possible.
So we were expanding our community horizon too, and we hope marketing the library a little bit more and just saying to everybody, no, the library belongs to you. Come in, come in. We'll do this.
I don't know, we did sumo wrestling, so there's not a whole lot we haven't done.
Where we're moved from, they don't do this sort of thing in the library. They have story time and movies, so we're really impressed with what Richland Library does.
Thank you to the people that work in the library, and also for the people who got the books so we can all read them.
I mean, I love the staff too, but the variety of the people coming in here, and they would tell you their story. I knew when they had kids, I knew when they had grandkids, I knew who was getting married.
You get to know the people. You grow up with them, you watch them, you've watched them change, and some of those you've learned their life stories.
The first kids that were in my story time, they're driving now, and some of them are out of college now, and I've had a couple who've said, have you been here a long time? And I'm like, yeah, pretty long. And they're like, yeah, I think you were the storyteller when I came to story time. And they have kids now.
They became a part of my life too. I remember an older couple who came in here. We'd just chat, and one year she brought me in like Avon soap or something with a little Christmas tree ornament tag on it. I still have that ornament on my tree.
So I think one of the primary reasons is why I work at the library is I know I'm making an impact. I know it's not a very forward or strong impact because my displays are subtle and passive, but I know that I'm making an impact to our community. I've had community members come up and say, thank you for doing this, or leaving notes on it. I have a note on my desk where this little kid drew this adorable picture and said, thank you for having us seen. And so it sits there to remind me that every display that I do that represents our community is important and is essential. I do have a favorite picture in the display. It shows a previous staff member in a fabulous skirt on a ladder hanging books off of a wall display that looks like a giant dog. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's me from the 1950s.
I'm sure you still get people coming in here today. This is not the library I remember. Why is everybody so noisy? Well, because it's evolved. It's not the quiet. It's not a university library. It's a public library. It's a gathering space more than anything now.
Behind every great public library are great support groups. On October 3rd, 1962, the Friends of the Library was founded and has provided support for our library services ever since.
So the Friends, our primary business is selling books, and that money goes to library programs, children's reading, equipment, special speakers. We also contribute to some of the community events. These are expensive books, a lot of them. These are hardback books. And another important thing, along with supporting the programs at the library, is basically getting these books back out in the community.
I have been collecting books. I want to have my own sort of little personal library at home. And so that can be expensive, and so that's one of the great things that this sale offers. There's a ton of books here at a very reasonable price.
And it's gotten me in a lot of trouble. I had an itty bitty house, and I had 6 bookcases. And I moved into a even smaller apartment. Those bookcases wouldn't fit, but I sure enjoyed gathering them.
The Richland Public Library Foundation was established in the early 2000s and is designed to fund larger capital projects beyond what the Friends of the Library support. They continue to fund library projects, including the lawn, our new outdoor space.
Well, the foundation really was created back in around 2000 by some of the original board members who realized that the library itself is a government institution, and when people want to give money to the library, it goes into the city budget and then it has to be reauthorized or allocated. So they decided that they should create a foundation to receive funds from people who wanted to have specific projects done.
So we've been a part of a couple key projects, being able to just be a contributor, really help with supplying the additional funds to just not make it just the space and the bare minimums, but to allow for us to put improvements into there, the amphitheater and some of the opportunities for us to put in a little bit of the higher grade turf. We've been able to just add accents to improve the original bids.
As a municipal library, we are blessed with being part of a supportive and dedicated team from the City of Richland. City administration, City Council, and our library board lay the stable foundation for quality library service. As a friendly and relaxed atmosphere, we act as a community interface for our city departments.
Being part of the city, there's all the departments, so you can call up somebody in parks and say, hey, I have this crazy idea, you want to do this?
We have created the kind of environment where people want to come to us and present their ideas, and people want to support the things that we are trying to do, and I just have never really worked anywhere that does that the way that the library in the city does.
And fire department, we've had them come in their bunker gear.
Oh my goodness, having Chief Tom has been so amazing. He's a great reader, he's great with the kids. It's been great. And also because we got to go do story time at the fire station. That was awesome.
The police department's done fingerprinting here.
They brought their bomb robot once, and that was fun, and did a demo of that.
The electrical company, they could come and bring their truck and fry squirrels and hot dogs.
I really wanted to serve on the public library board because I felt like it was a really good way to be involved in our city services. I think the library serves as such a great community space where people are welcomed, where you can learn and explore, and I thought that it would give me a great opportunity to kind of give back to the library staff, to be able to learn what they do and then kind of help support them in a way that I wouldn't otherwise be able to.
We approve the bills, we get to understand what's new, what's coming up in the library, what's happening with the catalog and with the budget and all kinds of things that we can weigh in on.
I also was part of the board and chair of the board at the time when we were able to work with City Council to abolish late fees at the library.
So that people, if they're late with their books, they bring them back, and there's no fines that prevent them from checking out more books in the future. And that was huge.
And also, we convinced City Council to rescind the law criminalizing overdue books.
Which was on in the municipal code, and that got fixed, and that's wonderful.
I'm also really proud of the fact that the local library directors were able to get together and put a plan together for reciprocal borrowing. I think that as a community member, I've heard a lot of feedback, especially on the library board as well, of people wishing that they could come to the Richland Public Library, or people wishing they could access the Mid-Columbia Library collections, depending on their proximity to each library. And I think this is a really good example of listening to the community and trying to find a way that people feel heard and connected, and that they have the availability of going to any library that they want.
even from just growing up when I was little till now, I've always felt like libraries have a significant role in developing community. I believe that libraries are one of those third places, that people have. I think that there is definite economic value that libraries provide a community and should be part of the fabric of what makes a healthy community.
The future of the Richland Public Library is bright. With passionate community support, tremendous municipal backing, energized support groups, and staff committed to customer service excellence, the Richland Public Library looks forward to the many chapters we have yet to write together.
I think any library director will tell you that you're part of a relay race, okay? God knows you couldn't sprint that long, but you're part of a relay race, and you come in and you do what you're meant to do. You do your job and whatever mission you're supposed to accomplish there, and then you hand the baton off. And so I'll say it, I'm kind of proud to be part of that history.
I feel like our team has gotten together and put on some fabulous programs. We're reaching a wider audience. We're doing more programs for all ages. We're engaging our teens, our preteens, and our adults in more fun things.
The breadth, the scope of the programs that the library holds now just seems so much beyond what it used to be. I think it's just amazing. And so, we're taking that to heart and saying, all right, well, we need to bring in some additional resources to support that.
It seems like we're in a place right now where this library, anyone at any level has an idea, and we'll try it. I believe that's how we attracted a dinosaur to be in the library. We said, hey, it'd be great to have one. So now we have Theo.
I mean, there's a lot of people who come in and they're like, I have never been in a library that has this many things to do, this many activities, this many apps, this many lectures, this many movies. And I mean, people say that to me all the time.
I think it's fascinating with libraries that people talk ebooks, they talk streamable things, which we have a ton of, but we still have folks coming back for those what you would think of as really traditional experiences. People talk about the third space that's not home, it's not work, and the library fits that really well because anyone is welcome to come in and interact with others, interact with the collection, just hang out in your community. I think it's a great snapshot of what your community is, the library itself.
The Richland Public Library means many different things to those that visit, work for, and support it. We celebrate everyone that has been part of our community story 75 years in the making.
I can't even imagine living in a town without a library. I used to live in a town in Tennessee called Cumberland Furnace. When I lived there, it had a population of 351. It was basically a dump and a post office. And there was a gas station, but it was just outside of city limits. That town had a library. The library was in the lobby of the post office. It was one bookshelf that people in the town would either put books on or take them out, and if they took one, they'd leave a little note promising when they'd bring it back. It wasn't funded by any municipal agency, but a library spontaneously developed in the lobby of that post office because it's just a part of American society, right? It's unthinkable that you wouldn't have one.
The Richland Public Library to me means equal access to information, to the ability to learn. It's a free space where people can come and have meetings and craft meetups and book clubs. The library is truly just, I think, a gem.
This library is special. The support we have from our city, from our patrons, from our government has been amazing. And it's a special place, I think. It holds a very special place in my heart.
Richland Public Library means community, it means culture, and it means family.
Well, it's one of the local institutions that we cannot be without. It's just like having the churches, just like having the elementary schools, just like having a good government, having a good fire department. You need a good library. I mean, you can have a community, but if you have no library, I mean, you're just missing something.
So I feel like the library is a place where you can expand your mind, find your place in the world, find your place in a community, find what you're looking for, hopefully, educate yourself, and become a more open person. And every time that happens, we make a better society.
It means that there's a place in the community where anyone can go, and it's a safe place. And I like being able to serve everyone in the community in that respect.
Oh, well, sometimes it's an old geezer thing, or elder, I think. I'm so thankful for things as they are, including the library. There's lots of things to be thankful for. That's it. And the library is one here. It's just world class. I've been around the block at least twice.
Well, I love looking at the books, reading parts of them, and of course checking them out.
Why? Because I like the library, because reading books and having fun. That's the most important thing in this library to do. It's so fun for people to come here and do the activities here to have fun.
I mean, when people think about public libraries, they think about a building with books, and a building, the library has books, but we're about people. So I like the idea of this being like sort of a living community space.
This place is a place of community and fun and happiness. I love how we get people in from all walks of life. Everyone is welcome here, everyone.
My job at the library is a really big part of my identity. It's part of what makes me who I am. And I'm proud to work, I'm gonna cry. Okay. I'm proud to work in a place where everybody is welcome. That's important to me.
It's pretty much a home away from home. Growing up here, and but it's a place where a lot of people enjoy it. They come here, they can spend time, they can relax, and of course I'm surrounded by books, which I love, and it's a lot less fattening than working at a candy store.
It's a beacon. It's a center of the community. It is hope for the future. It is an acknowledgement that reading and thinking matter, and that it's a community center. So important for everybody, yeah. And it's a really good library too.
Happy birthday, library! Happy birthday, library!
Happy birthday, library. Hope you have a very good booky library birthday.
I want to thank you, the citizens of Richland, for your support, for your continuing support, and I just hope that you now today recognize the fulfillment of that dream and that vision. Thank you very much.